Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Bruiser, and we are here once again talking the NBA playoffs. Um, you know, game one of the Lakers and the Warriors was yesterday. That ended 117 to 112. We're here to talk about it. We're here to let people know what are our opinions, and I want to hear from you guys as usual. What do you guys think? How you that guys think that series is going to end up? Me personally, you know, I was a bit disappointed because, as I've stated before, I am a Warriors fan. But nevertheless, I love to see great basketball, and the Lakers really did play a great game. Anthony Davis, most importantly, did what he was supposed to do. He stepped up, he scored, he got a double double with 23 rebounds, I believe. I'm going off the top of my head. But that was marvelous. That was magnificent. And, we're here to talk about it. I'm going to have a guest with me tonight. Um, you know, he's a colleague of mine. He's also a basketball fan. He's a sports fan. I think his number one sport is football, but he's an avid basketball fan as well. And, he goes by the name of Martin, but we're going to call him Black Roses. And um, he's just as excited to talk about basketball, especially the Lakers, as I am, the playoffs. So, without further ado, let me see if I can add him to the stream. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Testing, testing, one, two, three.
Yo,
Yo,
it's a
yo,
good day.
yo.
It's a
What's
good day. It's
nice?
a good day.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
It's a
Uh,
great day. It's a
ladies
good day
and
to be a
gentlemen,
Laker fan.
Of course, of course. Before we get started, I just want to let everybody know this is Martin, aka Black Roses. Um,
Right, everybody.
here to talk basketball. Here to talk about some league, some team that has wear black and gold, like some Los Angeles
Purple,
team.
purple,
I
purple
think
and
it's the
gold.
Clippers. I think it's the
Purple
Clippers.
and gold.
I think it's the Clippers. I ain't sure which one.
Purple and gold.
Purple and
Yeah,
gold. Right?
yeah.
Let's see.
A lot more stars. We have a lot more stars attached to that to differentiate the two teams. Yeah,
So,
you see
all
it
right.
and
So,
you see it after the next game.
of course. All right. You see, so
But we here to talk about basketball. We here to talk
yes.
about just the Lakers.
Yeah,
See,
not just the Lakers. But we will start with them. Their game was just last night. Game ended up
yeah,
117, 112.
12.
A great effort by Anthony Davis, who had 30 points, 23 rebounds.
Mostly to the first
LeBron,
half.
yes, he did. A very good first half. Well, he had a good game entirely, but he was
Entirely. Because he
ridiculous.
stepped up here. The second half, we get the defense a little more than the offense. But I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, it resulted in a win, so I know you're taking anything like that.
Modestly is one. We have three more to go. That is one.
Well, yes. So where we'll start is as I mentioned before on my last video, um, Steph Curry had to score 50 plus points against the Kings in Game 7 in order for them to even reach
To
this
carry that team.
to
Correct.
carry them across, right? So I was saying, and I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on this. I was saying that because of that, he would have been a bit fatigued because they didn't get much rest. I think they just got a day rest, I
Definitely
believe, because the game
fatigue.
was yesterday, Tuesday.
Correct.
And you
He
know
just
what
run a
I
full
realized the
7 game
Lakers did.
series.
What I, what I realized the Lakers did, they didn't take any chances. They double teamed them from the get go. Right.
Correct.
So what do you think about that strategy the Lakers use? And I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on the matter.
Well, I'll take it first. Like we let the cat out of the bag one time. Jared Vanderbilt. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Right? He asked for the assignment. He get the assignment, and he do the assignment. You understand? He contested. When I was looking at some stats, he contested 92% of his shots. Now,
Wow.
Steph Curry, you just can't stop him from scoring because he shoot bad from the field, but he still drop what 20 something points. You understand?
Yeah,
But
27, I think.
if you look at the second quarter, I think it was somewhere through, you see the fatigue on him from since the second quarter because he start holding our shoulder really. Now it might be injured, but as they say, that shooting arm will get tired after throwing up 50 points now, boy. And it barely get what 24 hours to rest. Yeah. While the Lakers
Yeah.
come almost 4 days rest. You understand? So I don't know what Curry. He had a good game, but it just wasn't enough, and he had to depend on the rest of the team to score too, if they is to go through this series.
And
Definitely.
that is the thing I think was lacking, because even though he scored 50 and I thought that fatigue would have been a factor, he still was able to, just get over 20 points. The problem was, as I watched the stats, we need Draymond Green to score more than 6 points for sure.
He had five
Um,
turnovers too.
yeah, well, I don't want to
Curry
talk
had
about
five
that. Okay.
turnovers. He had five. That's not normal. That's not normal for him.
Well, I mean, anybody who has the ball in his hands, as much as he
He
does.
wasn't. He wasn't the primary ball handler until like what fourth quarter. Mainly,
Well,
he was the primary
well,
baller.
right. But the reason, but we know in the past he can handle the ball, especially when it
For
comes to
sure. For sure.
executing their plays. I think what happened is that with sports is about momentum. So he wasn't handling the ball for a lot of the game. They was letting Steph do his thing. The problem with that is that when you finally decide to give it to him, it could be a problem. It could, because
Correct.
he's not he has been playing that role for the first three quarters or 2 quarters or whatever it was.
Still
And
dropped 27.
now he's expected to run it. But all in all, I think that they lost mainly because they didn't get enough from the rest of the cast.
For sure.
Uh, I
Clay
need
hold his
more
own. He
points
shoot
from
25. He dropped
Andrew.
25. Yeah.
Who's Clay?
Clay still dropped 25, but he shoot 9 or 25 from the field. That is the problem.
See,
Too.
that's a problem right there.
That's the
That
problem.
is a problem.
And yep, to come back at something, you talk about momentum, and you had to get Darwin Ham some kind of applaud there too. Because if you watch, every time they went on that type of hot streak, he didn't even bother to let it go. He called the timeout one time. And it started from
Yeah,
since the first quarter, because remember we was down what? Something to two, and he called the timeout one time. He
right,
called it
right.
immediately, and they reset. And that's something people are noticing with the Lakers. They don't come back out of a timeout the same team. They don't. They reset. They say, hey, we got to make this change, this change, this change. And I ain't see a team like that in a long time could make changes like during a game like that and adjust like that. I ain't see that in a real long time. So I had to give him some
Well,
applause.
well,
I had to
well.
give him
I
some
think, I mean,
applause.
in fairness to not only the Lakers, but many teams in the league, most times, when a timeout is called by coaches, it is because they want to stop the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, outside of their star players getting fouls, they want
Yeah.
to stop the momentum and they want to make some adjustments. Now, Lakers did a good job, or Davin Ham would have did a good job, but it's not something that I've seen Warriors come out and execute plays out of timeouts. Even the
And that's what I
Sacramento
was going to
Kings.
say. That's the last team I know to be able to do it so well timed now, boy.
Well, remember, so playoffs, as we discussed before, playoffs is a different kettle of fish. Eh?
It's a
So,
whole different kettle of fish.
so
Look
the,
at the
so
teams
the,
that are going through as well. The teams with the experienced players,
yeah, yeah.
the
So,
lower
so,
seeds.
so, well, right. So, imagine, so the ones with the experience, when their coach call a timeout, and explain to them what he is seeing on the sideline, then in this time of the year, the execution is going to always be a little bit tighter, because this is playoff time. This is the time where mistakes can't really be made. Um, so or at least not as much as they would allow in the regular season. So it was a great thing to see these players execute on point when Davin called the timeout, or even Steve called the timeout, whatever they attempted to do to quell Lakers' momentum.
It was vice versa, you know.
Correct.
So
Um, what? Tell me about LeBron because he had an off night. So if he does have an on night on the Lakers, clicking, are real interested to see what they're gonna do in game 2.
well, remember with LeBron, just like with Steph, he's the star, so they're gonna expect him to play like LeBron. Even at 38, I think the age thing has gone out the door since the middle of the season.
Yeah,
Nobody's talking about that
it's not a
anymore
factor.
because yeah, it's not a factor. He has shown that that age thing is not a factor when it comes to him as an individual.
But you think he
But
played
that's
injured?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I
You
mean,
think
when
the
was
ankle good?
the last injury was what the groin injury,
The, the ankle.
ankle. So I haven't heard them talk about it. He hasn't shown any. I did hear though on I don't know if they were
Like
just
I
kidding,
say,
but I did hear on that favorite show of ours inside the NBA.
yeah.
They made a reference to his jumping ability. Was it inside the NBA? I can't recall. I might be quoting the wrong show, but they were saying that they found he wasn't as explosive as he's used to. But then what are you to expect of a 38-year-old? The type of dunks that we see him do at this stage is very, very impressive. So,
Yeah,
you know, the ankle may hurt, he may have a little bit of fatigue, and you would not see that explosive LeBron, but we all know that he's still capable of doing it, you know?
maybe I'll give them that argument under the basket. He wasn't as explosive as yes he does normally be. But I never know LeBron, but his shot especially, I never know him to be a big high jumper off the ground fit. He don't have an arcing shot. He had a like more direct shot into
Direct,
the
yeah,
basket. He had an arc like that. No boy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But maybe
Did we lose him? We might have lost him. We might have lost him, but I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back in a little bit once he's able to get his internet, on point. But nevertheless, to piggyback off the question or to continue to answer the question, I think that um, LeBron is expected to do what LeBron is expected to do. So because of that, he's gonna play and score and rebound and assist. I think what the trick is really to get okay. We have him back. Right, we have him back. So I think I was just continuing the question in terms of LeBron is gonna do what LeBron does.
does.
So I think what the Warriors have to do, just like any other team, what they have to do as well is focus on the others. If you could limit, and they did a great job. You limit Draymond to 6 points. You limit Andrew Wiggins um to 15 points. Jordan Poole scored 21, but I was aware it was not helpful 21, if you understand what I mean. It was
Was
not helpful 21. It
yeah.
just, yeah. So, and then in addition to that, he took a questionable shot at the end of the game to attempt to tie.
What was wrong
Um,
with it? What was wrong with it? What was wrong with it?
the only thing that was wrong is that it didn't go
Is
in.
that
I'm not,
what?
I'm
Is
not,
Curry didn't shoot it?
no, so we all know, I believe that Jordan is just as capable of making that shot. The problem that I had with it,
Oh, making that shot. Okay, cool.
yeah, but in other words, he has the green light to take that
I've
shot,
seen him
I
see it,
think,
yeah.
right?
But
What the problem that I have with it, and I think other Warriors fans, the problem that we had with that shot was that it didn't need to be that far out. He could have taken two more dribbles and get a little closer to the 3-point line, and it would have been a more comfortable shot,
don't
you
forget
know.
Vanderbilt was coming after us, eh?
Yeah, but he was still far. He could
For
have
sure. For
he
a
could have,
shooter, that wouldn't disturb your shot.
yeah, it wouldn't have. Or if he's so focused on Vanderbilt, he could have paused a little bit, give Vanderbilt the idea that he's going to shoot, and fake him and blow past him, or do whatever he had to do. But to take that shot from that far out was just, as much as we know we can make it, you have to be conscious that we are in the playoffs. This is a win or die.
Yes.
situation. So you can't say that you are not Steph, you are not Damian Lillard, you are not Trey. These are the guys who we know shoot from these distances, and people are worried. Jordan, he up and coming. They could shoot, yes, but take it on a little bit. You know what I mean? So
But what was the Lakers? All right. I think, well, not think, I know what we game plan was. And that's why it's so interesting to see what is going to happen in game 2 and what the Warrior offense going to be in game 2. Because as I told you, big in the paint. I have two men literally just standing up in the paint, waiting for them to come for that mid range. And they will get it sometimes. They will get it sometimes. You see Wiggins, he had a jump shot. It was on. He just didn't look to drive enough. But it wasn't just that, is that. By the time you hit that first dribble and you get past LeBron, you have AD watching you. And if once you start getting blocked, it's going to bother your future shots, for sure.
it will.
It will adjust every single shot you take from there, especially if it's AD in front of you. And that was we game plan. Don't let them come in that paint. Don't let them disturb the mid range. Don't let them come in the paint. Let them shoot the tree. Live by the tree, you die by the tree.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the Warriors game plan. They tried to execute what they had planned.
I think they shoot a record, and they shoot a record trees in that game.
Who?
The Warriors. I think that's the most trees a team ever take in a game.
Well, in terms of attempts, I can't remember. I don't recall.
53.
How many?
53.
53 attempts. 53 attempts.
And they scored 21 though.
Wow. So that's and you know what caused that? You know what caused that?
That is scary.
Well, you see, and this is my point I was not going to make. So in terms of the game plan that you was talking about, I think that they tried to execute their game plan, and the problem is that they didn't expect AD to go off for 30 points and have that type of impact.
Didn't expect that?
No, because the reality is this: Anthony Mr. Glass Davis, he is not. He's not a guarantee in terms of a big performance.
Okay,
so that is why during the season, people who are fans of Anthony were very upset because 1 minute they give us 30 and 10, then the next minute they give us 14 and 7, and it's like, why? Like what causing that? So I heard a past basketball player. Well, I can say his name is Charles. I heard Sir Charles say that he thinks that sometimes he's not motivated to play the game. And sometimes it looks like that because you can't tell me that you take such pride in being great and you're not trying to put up great numbers on a nightly basis. Unless you're genuinely injured, then that's the only excuse that we can give you. But if you're healthy, why are you scoring 14 points sometime and then 25 another time? That is just weird.
Well, if you're scoring 14 and the rest of the team scoring, like you have Rui, you have Reeves, all of them, two of them capable of putting up 20 points for you each a night. Yeah, D'Lo could put up 20 points for you. So, and if LeBron ended up dropping at 30, 14 is not much bad of him. I agree. He's a man. He's supposed to be having a double-double every night. He's supposed to have something similar to Shaq stats for his ability as a center. But I will agree with you. 14 and 7. Yes, I see them games. Yes, we was mad with him. But as I say, playoff basketball are different kettle of fish. And I see he wake up. I see he wake up. And that's what we banking on. We banking for that.
You see him wake up for one game?
I see him wake up for a series.
Oh, okay. Well,
I see him wake up for a series.
Which series? This series here you talking about? Wake up.
This series, he wake up. He ready.
Oh, well, all right. Well,
I don't think it's any games from him. I don't think it's any games at all from him. But he didn't have a bad series against the Grizzlies, though. Defensively, hands. I will give you the offense. He had some sketchy nights because I think one of them nights he had almost what like less than 15 points. I agree. He had less than 15. Some night it was one of them games at it. But he'll have a bad series though.
Well, listen. You see, the thing is with superstars is that what makes them superstars is the expectation.
Yeah.
So your team will win. Your team can win with 14-7, you know. But
Mhm.
if your team winning with 14-7 and as a superstar you're satisfied, I can pretty much guarantee you, not that I want to go back in eras, but even if we look at I don't want to go as far back as MJ, but let me go with Kobe. If Kobe's team won, but Kobe had 11 points, you think he's not upset with himself?
He's pissed.
He's upset with himself. He's like, how I had
Pissed.
such a terrible game? Like, what happened?
Nobody was harder than themselves in that game than that man.
Yeah.
He was
So
cool.
understand the point. You can't be a superstar, and because I mean, yes, we know the game is about winning, but at the same time, if I have stamped my name in the history of this sport, and when you call my name, it's supposed to have a level of reverence, a level of fear, a level of understanding that this man is a superstar. When you score 14 points, you're supposed to come back hard. And it just doesn't seem like he has that type of motivation all the time.
LeBron did that. LeBron did that. So I agree with you. LeBron did that. You know, a certain gentleman from the last series say, hey, I like to poke bears, and well, you poke him number. And he said, hey, I had a bad game. And I coming back. Remember the comments. I had a matter of fact, I didn't want to use that on the line. So he had a S game and he coming back and so said so done. So I understand where you're coming from. For a superstar, great player, you have to give him a comeback game.
Yeah, you have to.
You
You have to.
You have no excuses there. You have
You
to.
have to. So that's why in most sports shows this morning, everybody was proud of Anthony's output because they were saying if he could play like that, the Warriors are going to have a hard time because there's not anybody. Kevin Looney cannot guard
No
AD.
good night. Not
So-
on a good night.
So if the only thing that you can match Anthony with is rebounds, because I mean you're just as tall as
I'll
him,
take that. I'll take
so
that.
any Laker fan will take that because
I'll take
at
that.
the end of the day, yes, we love defense, but you need to outscore your opponent as well.
Because I know
So-
you're going. I know you're going to defend. I know you're going to defend Looney. I know you're going to defend him in the post. You had the capability, and he offense is not the best. So I really
Yeah, it's
just
not the
need you
best.
to score. Need you to score.
Easy.
I need you. I need
You
you to
need
score.
Anthony to score.
So let me hit to this one because just before we start, I was just scrolling through Instagram. You know my boy Stephanie. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't like him. So he reached and he don't like part again. But let me ask you, right? So we had two players in this series looking for their fifth ring, right? Two superstars, I should say, in the series looking for their fifth ring, right? You know which two I'm talking about. So a little while ago, they said they had a stamp LeBron on the Rushmore basketball players, right? The Mount Rushmore. Why you doing that? Why you doing
No,
that?
listen.
Why you doing that? Right?
Listen.
So I never say I agree with it, right? But Golden State win and go on to win the fifth ring. Well, Curry goes on to win his fifth ring. Does that remove LeBron from the Mount Rushmore basketball players and then place Steph Curry there? Now remember the caliber of players we're talking about. Talking about men like Kareem, Wilt,
No,
MJ.
you see that question that's subjective because the bottom line is LeBron has the scoring title. That's a big deal. That is a very big deal.
Yeah, Curry
With that
has.
said, though, Curry has 5, right? So I'll come into that. So with that said, Curry, if based on your question, Curry would have now had 5 rings, which is more than him, and
And the
he-
3-point record.
well, you see, the thing is with the 3-point record, LeBron is never going to catch that because he's not a 3-point
Ever.
shooter. So I
Curry
think
not gonna catch him in the scoring either.
well, right. So that's why, right. So that's why there's 2 separate things.
Fair.
as much as Steph is a scorer, his specialty is 3 point. Is the 3 point shot, and he has stamped his name as one of the best, if not the best shooter ever. Right? Um, in terms of the Mount Rushmore, which means you're on the best you're on the best
You are
list,
the best of the best.
the best of the best. I'm not sure. I don't know because first of all, that Mount Rushmore question is always shaky because it has so many. There's so many versions of that. Mount Rushmore is what, 5 players, right? It's five
Yeah,
men.
5.
Right.
Yeah.
So think about even the eras that I have seen. If I think about the eras that I have seen, which includes Michael's era, to now, you really can only choose 5 players to go on that.
Yeah.
That's
I can choose
difficult.
my 5.
Yeah, but your 5 would be based on a biasness, not necessarily the
What's the
statistics.
bias?
No, well, who you like.
Not necessarily. I like good basketball. You know that overall. I like good
So,
basketball.
so who would be your top 5?
I'll put Will there. I'll put Will there. Right?
What? Okay.
100-point game. I had a game. A real serious had a game. Right? These things mean things, and those are things that will never be broken. That I can guarantee. At least I would live to see that broken.
We've seen 81, so it can be
One
broken.
man
We've
has
seen
come
81.
close. One man has come close to it. One man. And he is still 19 points short. By
All right.
far, by distance. Because that 81 went down to the wire in that game. Yeah?
All right. Who again?
So when Will there, of course, I had to put Kareem there. I put the 2-4 in it. 2-4 do it different. 2-4 change the game for me. I had to put this kind of bald fella that used to play in this red uniform long time. You know? Yeah, I had to put the Jordan in it. That's my 4-day. Right?
And who's the
I am
5th?
not a LeBron. I'm not a LeBron fan. I've never been a LeBron fan, but he plays for the Lakers, right?
All right.
I will have to put him there.
You'll have to pay him there.
He's a generational player. I will have to put him there.
So here what you just did, Black.
Curry is not a generational player.
Okay. Wow. So
I say that like that, and I'm not being arrogant. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I don't think he's a generational player. I do believe soon to come, we will see that 3-point record broken.
soon maybe not see enough in the next 20 years, guaranteed.
At least when he break it? 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2021, I think, against the Knicks. I
That
think
would have been his, how much he played? 15 seasons. That would have been his 13th. Yeah, I think 12th or 13th season. We can see that. We can see that. We can see that. At the rate he shooting trees, we can see it.
Well, we'll see. But with your Mount Rushmore, let me get back to that. You know, your Mount Rushmore, all your players are Lakers with the exception of Jordan. Eh?
Or they played for the Lakers at some point.
They played for them at some point. And that's why I said that each person's Mount Rushmore
it seems so
is
bad.
biased.
I mean, it's one of the most, every player who is a great player in history has played for the Lakers. Or some of the greatest players, if not the greatest pioneers of the game to change it, played for the Lakers. And I'm not just boosting my team. The championship's there to show for it. Look, I even put Magic in the mount. And he changed the point guard
Exactly,
position.
that's one of my questions.
And he changed the point guard position. You see, if I kick Kobe out, all right, I'll take Kobe out. I go take LeBron out. Fine, fair enough. I understand where you're coming from.
No, don't get me wrong. Your 5 is your 5, but I am just saying.
Nah, I can't, cause you see, Magic.
So guys, what I am saying is that this top 5 Rushmore, that argument is too subjective. the greats, they themselves have spoken about not wanting to be cast in that because it's unfair. It's unfair. Me myself personally, as a Michael Jordan fan, you can't put in Michael in Rushmore. What determines Rushmore? Is it men who have changed the game? Is it men who have the most championships? Championships then winners of championships?
For me, it would be people who change the game, not necessarily championships. Not necessarily championships. Because AI is a great player. AI was a great player.
Alright, I just got some information here about my mic. Let's see if I can fix that quickly.
Hearing you loud and clear.
Hey, when we have somebody viewing the live stream who is saying that it's something a bit strange. It's the problem with live, guys. So, it's always potentially. Let me see what the problem with live, guys. It's always potentially. Okay, I see where you come up with the problem. I just went to the stream to see how.
Oh, it was you. Yeah.
So in this particular broadcast, I'm using my phone VLCs. I'm not using my regular setup. I'm not sure if I was using my professional setup, I think it would have sounded much better. My phone is probably, the mic is probably not as set up properly for this type of engagement. But thanks for that, Ziggy. What can I do next?
No audio. Ooh.
Automatically adjust.
And from what I do see here, all right. So the Heat went down to the Knicks 105 to 111. Ooh, who went off? Randall went off for 25.
Testing one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you hear me properly, but like the live stream, I'm not sure it's sounding on the live. So maybe Siri will give us another update, right? He said it's sounding better. Nice, perfect, great. So, where were we? So in terms of the,
I would say players that change the game, not so much rings.
Not so much championships.
While rings is an important part of it as well for the resume of it, but your main thing is changing the game for me. In any sport, for that matter, that puts you on the game.
What does changing the game mean, though? Does that mean changing the rules, changing what, because
how not just people, but how you make people perceive the game. Like everybody wanted that sky hook. Now there's a signature move for all big men in the game. That sky hook. Yeah. You had
signature move meaning what? Then because a lot of people haven't taken it up. So when I say signature move,
because you see, I'm trying to explain it best as I could, as in what I mean by change the game. So your favorite player, MJ,
all right,
changed the game or didn't change the game?
change the game. What I would say he did was he made the game bigger in terms of global exposure. So for that reason, I would say he changed the game. Changing the game for me means that because of you as an individual, rules were changed. In terms of fouls and defense, and he had a. So I'll give you an example with Mike. When Mike played against Allen Iverson, as good as Iverson was, one of Mike's personal problems with Iverson was that he found that he carried the ball. Now, if anybody who played basketball, as much as we love, because I love Iverson too, he had such heart for a short guy, a 6 foot guy.
Yeah.
But his crossover did entail a little bit of a carry.
It
You
didn't
know, but
entail it was a carry. It didn't entail it was a carry. I'll be
Good.
honest. The hand was quite. The hand was all the way on top of the ball. Like,
Nice. So I'm glad
all
you
the way
remember.
on there. You
So it
understand?
was a
About
carry,
the hand reaching
but
quite.
but because of how entertaining it was to see people legs being broken, it didn't, and even MJ himself complained. And what they did was they didn't take out the way he did a crossover, but they called carry a lot more. So in that sense, what I would say, because even Allen Iverson for that purpose alone is not enough to put him on Mount Rushmore. But Iverson also changed the game. Iverson changed the way that he found people would perceive him as a basketball player, because people find that as a professional basketball player, you should wear suits to the game, and you shouldn't wear cornrows, and you shouldn't wear all this jewelry. And so in that sense, the game
I
was changed as well.
kinda agree with her. You're going to work. You're going to work. Nobody ain't saying don't have your own swagger, no, but respect it too at the same time. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I found that he was.
you're
I mean, as
professional.
much. So yeah, he was. He was. You see, Iverson wanted to have his own way. And in a lot of ways,
Forget practice.
a lot of, a lot of us in real life, that's what we want as well. But the reality is, when you're working for someone, and basketball, as much as it's a sport, you are still working for the league. The league would have rules, and there's rules that should be followed. And
Yes.
Iverson was a rebel in that sense.
He was
But
rebel.
but all these years later, it's also the thing that a lot of people loved him for.
And I
You know,
agree with it.
So I don't know, but in terms of the Mount Rushmore, I just try to stay away from that, because it's a very. I can't put only 5 players in all the eras, in all the eras it has had. To take only 5 players is very difficult.
So, like, you think Dr. J and all of them have a say on that too? That is what you tell
No,
them.
no.
Who could dunk better?
No, I don't care about that. Everybody can dunk. No, I don't care about that. No, I don't care about that. And that's no disrespect to Dr. J. Shout out to
I
Dr. J.
feel yeah. I feel
I'm
yeah.
sure. I'm sure the
Passionate
doctor.
is like the
I'm sure.
somebody flash.
I'm sure the doctor is watching us live as well. So shout out to the doctor. But it's for me personally, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, these guys were great, but they can't be on the Mount Rushmore.
Nah, I
can't be-
wouldn't put Patrick there. I wouldn't put Patrick Ewing there. Consistent player, but I wouldn't put him there. For sure, I wouldn't put him there. And it's not just because he didn't win rings, but
Yeah, he was a handful of there's no way if he were doing a centers only Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore. I
maybe
could still put a couple of people before him. Still.
a lot. Yeah, definitely. I put him
Yeah,
five.
you
I'll
know.
have five before him for sure.
Yeah, they have 3. You have Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell,
Shaq.
Shaq, and of course, if it's we see now we already reached 4. You
Vlad.
must have who?
Diva.
No, sir. I want to know if you're gonna come to the phone. You can't have the backs. You have to have Hakeem the Dream. Must.
Yeah.
Right?
I was talking about this movie yesterday, and I was talking about the movie. What was it? Up in the Air.
Whose movie?
Movie about not exactly. Who was it on, boy? I remember the movie just now. So let me go back to it. I remember the movie just now.
Yeah. But aside from Mount Rushmore, as I said, we spoke on the Lakers Warriors game one recap. I think that game two is going to be interesting
It's going to be
because
really exciting.
yeah, it's going to be interesting because we're going to see if AD is going to be consistent with the scoring, and two, we're gonna also see if players such as Draymond and Andrew, if they can step their games up and help Steph and Clay a lot more than they did in game one.
I
You
forget
know,
to ask you about that part. Tell me what you think about the free throw disparity.
well,
As in, did the refs call it fair, or you think they pull
I
the
think
whistle in some
no,
cases?
I think they called it fair. The problem was that the Lakers, when they realized, not the Lakers, the Warriors, when they realized what type of game they were playing in terms of defense, a lot of what happened, and I'll say this because of the stat you mentioned just now, which was the
Mm-hmm.
53 3-point shots attempts.
I am so afraid of that. At
That is
39%.
the reason why they did not get the same amount of whistles because you all started to rely on the
Correct.
three.
On the 3 point, literally at some points,
So
it's only threes
they,
will take it.
they can't be upset about that. If you're not driving, then you're not going to get a foul call.
Because you rarely get
Right?
fouled from the 3 point
So
line. And we had a few fouls from outside, more than one normal game would have. I think we had like at least 3 calls for 3 points, for fouls on 3 points. And two of them ended up
right,
being 4
right.
point.
Yeah. One was Jordan's own, and I can't remember the next one. But yeah,
I think
so I think it was called fairly. I think they may make it a point to have Andrew and Clay slash a little more to see if they can get those calls in game two. But as far as game one, I think it was called
be
fair.
it.
I don't really see anything that was too egregious in terms of
I don't think somebody had mentioned it in a group I in, and I just didn't bother to comment because I say you're sounding like a sore one. So I say, you know what, I will leave it.
yeah. We only take opinions from people who judge it fairly down the middle.
And correct,
And
watch the game and
yeah,
they don't rely
nothing
on those things.
not, nothing is wrong with being a fan of a particular team, but I mean you need to still be objective when you're being fair and objective when you're speaking about what happens in any particular game, right? Well, I think that should about cover it. We look forward to see the changes in game
Yeah.
two. Um,
Just to touch on it,
mhm.
the next tidy series.
Mm,
The next tidy series,
yes, that's good information. So it's now tied 1-1.
Brunson went off for 30, 10 and 19 from the field.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I mean, did
They're looking good.
did
Oh,
they
Jimmy.
play? They played Miami. Did Jimmy play?
Yep. Nah. Jimmy not
No.
even on the bench. Nope.
Yeah. So that injury gave him some trouble still.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. So
Came tonight 22. Adebayo at 15. Yeah. I wasn't
who's the
happy
high
to
scorer?
talk.
Who's the high scorer?
Caleb Martin with 2022.
Right. Okay.
Ain't
All
shoot bad.
right.
Just didn't score enough. Yeah. But that Miami team without your player,
The
Jimmy
star player.
Buckets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not gonna win that series. Not without him. They lost by 6, but I don't see them winning that series without him. I don't see them winning that series without him.
Yeah.
So
He's very important for them for sure. For sure. Well,
yeah.
I mean, 45 minutes, folks, of just player basketball. We spoke mainly on Lakers Warriors because Black is a
Let's
Lakers
see.
fan and I like the Warriors and it was just interesting to see
Yeah.
how the
Keep
Warriors lost
matchup.
that matchup. Yeah, so I think the next game, if it's not tomorrow, it might be because I think
It's Thursday, tomorrow, yeah.
Thursday, right? Right. So
Game tomorrow at
and then Sunday or something like that.
yep, next game would be Saturday. 8:30.
Saturday.
That game plays a little earlier. 8:30 on Saturday.
Okay. So well,
Oh, the game tomorrow is 9. Not too bad at all.
9. Oh gosh, thank you.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
For real. They be killing us. They be killing us over here with those late night games, boy. They're killing us.
10 of them 10 to 1s.
Yeah, boy. Oh gosh. But so Black, I want to thank you, of course, for passing through
Yeah.
and sharing your knowledge on the game that we all love. I mean, the series just started, so I'll definitely once you're able and you have the time, I'll probably have you as a guest again, and we continue to talk about not only Lakers and Warriors, but maybe the other teams as well.
Definitely had to take a look at our Celtics and our 76ers at some
For
point.
sure.
With Embiid and Embiid back as well. Yeah.
Yes, congrats to Joel on winning the MVP.
Yep.
I spoke to him this morning. He's in good spirits, and he so it's good to see that they finally recognize him after I think he has been run up twice before, so he finally got it. So he's very happy. Well deserved for sure.
Well deserved.
So guys, nice of you guys to join us live once again. Thanks a lot, Black, for being a part of the stream. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. We're going to be talking about a lot of other things outside of sports. Right now, the playoffs is the thing that is on fire. So we might focus on that, but we intend to touch on a lot more topics in the future.
We're now starting out.
Yeah, we're now starting. Remember to share, let your people know. Like, comment, subscribe. We take recommendations as well. You may have your topics that
things all might wanna shoot out there. Let us
know. So thank you guys for joining in, for tuning in. Thank you, Siri, so much for that audio advice. It seemed that it worked out fine. Thanks once again. Black, you don't know. Respect and manners.
Shout out Brazil 1221. Don't forget to follow. Check out them shoes. They're hot. You all know. Soulful.
Yes, for sure. All right. Take care. Black Roses is on Twitter as well, so you don't know. Check him out. Follow him. Send the information. Send your comments as well. We bounce ideas off each other. That's what it's all about. So, we're just trying to grow and make Trinidad proud. Once again, take care. Keep watching playoffs.
Be safe out there.
And love everybody. Love each other. Help each other. Take care. It's your boy Bruzo for Black Roses. We out.